Hey, what is up, guys? It is Straight Swag, aka Worst Name 69, coming at you live with No Man's Sky. Now, it has been a little bit since the last time we have broadcast. We are on broadcast number 8, coming off of 7, obviously. 7 was a bit of a long one, but, sometimes you just can't hold yourself to, the formula you have in place. You just gotta immerse yourself in the world that is whatever it is you're playing. For me, in this case, it is No Man's Sky, and they set you up with all the fixins to have yourself an imaginary feast. And that's what I've been doing. Now, just because I haven't broadcast in a while does not mean I have stopped playing the game. I have a much greater understanding of how this game operates and its functionality and how I am approaching it. It is quasi-individualized, so you can play it however you see fit. And we will get into that shortly as to how I've been playing lately. I haven't really been doing anything major. I've been mining. This mineral right over here. And this mineral, if I can get close enough, is emerald. Emerald, as far as I can tell, and I haven't traveled too far into the cosmos. Emerald for me is one of the most expensive or most valuable commodity for trade. And so this is my ship, by the way. What I've been doing with this mineral is selling it so I could acquire a brand new ship. This is my new ship. And the reason I bought this ship, aside from the fact that it's pretty cool looking, you know, this is the cockpit now. I don't actually want to be in here, but what I want to do is show you my inventory. And that's the main reason you're going to want to buy a ship, is the amount of inventory slots that you have available for potential upgrades to your ship. And when buying a ship, you're going to want to check out your prices, check out your upgrades, and check out how many slots you're going to have available, because that's all going to play into its value as far as its value to you. Not necessarily the value that it's placed at, but its value to you. And you can always add more things. So right now I am decked out for dogfight. I will fuck anybody up that wants to come and jack my shit or mess with me in any way. I've been in a couple dogfights now. I have not backed down by any means, and I've succeeded in every one. I haven't died in quite some time. I have a much greater familiarity with how I'm supposed to be running my operation. My operation doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be your operation, but it may give you a strong foundational outlook as far as how to, you know, succeed-ish. You know, give you some solid shit on how to, you know, until you acquire your own niche. So as and mining is, I mean, this is, it reminds me of Minecraft in a lot of ways, but we're not going to get into that just yet. We have quite a bit of explaining to do, so let's get into it. This is another commodity. It's actually more expensive than emerald. As far as what do we go for per unit, it sells at $275 per unit, and that item, this item, the lemium, goes for 30,937.5 per unit. This isn't something that you mine. As far as I know, it is an alloy, and it was acquired in a dogfight. So when you do fight against these rebels or these enemy ships, hostile ships, they can drop loot, and good loot at that. Now, the only reason I'm holding on to it is because I feel like some of the loot that I have acquired from ships and other like darker green background items can be used in upgrades or the crafting of these, you know, tech this tech that you can install on your ship, or tech that you can install on your weapon. My weapon, for example, this is a fairly new weapon I just acquired for the slots. Now, my last weapon may or may not have been one that you guys were able to see. I can't recall, but it was jacked out to the max. It was a really good weapon, and I had to compromise in some certain areas here. For example, this range boost Sigma. I had a range boost Sigma, but it was a +3 on my last weapon. I also started working with the plasma launcher, which is essentially like a kind of grenade launcher. And with that, I had right here. This is a excuse me, a grenade intensity Sigma +1. I had this at a +2. Of course, you had the analysis visor. You have to add that, you know, on certain weapons. It's not there. Actually, I think I've had to craft it with every weapon. So that is something I use a lot, and we can get into that once we start mining and show you the ins and outs of mining. But this is a pretty important tool for me, so I have to have a slot for that. And I just started to work with the propulsion. I had a propulsion upgrade. All of these it's tech that you can acquire throughout your travels in facilities of, you know, the other aliens. For the most part, that's where you acquire them. You can acquire them in other things. I mean, there are some like downed satellites or pods, it looks like. You can acquire upgrades like this in many different areas, but for the most part I get them from facilities. Vy'keen, I think they're called. I was calling them Vy'kreen for whatever reason. I feel like there must have been an R in my mind, or it just sounded better, but we are calling them the Vy'keen now, as is how I'm appropriately reading their name now. But yeah. So we're dealing with this, so that, you know, this basically shoots the grenades a little bit further. So you got to get used to it. It was a decent compromise. This actually was also a decent compromise because I don't really need to see everything so far away. I mean, it shows me, you know, what directions I can go, but really, there's an immediate area that you want to be working with, and you don't want to be trekking all over the place. Especially you don't want to get too far away from your ship, because it just it hinders you in a couple of different ways that I don't like. So you really only need a +2. You don't probably even need a +2, at least for my needs. It's just better that way. But I mean, if I have a +2, if I have a +1, I do like having a little bit of a boost. But that may change for all of these upgrades, which, I mean, this laser is basically my mining tool. It's a precision mining tool. Now, this plasma launcher, I first acquired it and I first installed it on my last weapon because I thought it would take huge chunks out of my mining ores, and it would just load me up really fast. But that's not the case at all. What the plasma launcher really does is it manipulates the land in a way that you can't with other weapons. So say you were in a cave system and you see that there's a way to get to the other side, or there is no way, like there's no fast way to get into a cave system, but you see on your range booster that they have some stuff in there, you know, like maybe some plutonium. You're in dire need of plutonium. You see there's plutonium in there with their little symbol in your range boost, but you can't get in there. You can use this to tunnel down, or you can use it to tunnel through the land, the actual land, to get to where you need to be. So this is a very handy tool to have. I like this weapon a lot better than the actual plasma shooter, or the, you know, the, I don't know what it's actually called, but it's like a gun, and I'm not a big fan of that. Maybe I'll install it in a future gun that has like 100 slots, or 20, maybe 30. But for right now, what I'm dealing with is this plasma launcher and this laser. Now this laser is jacked to the max, and again, we talked about the see how this says beam intensifier tau, beam intensifier theta. This is the Greek alphabet. Now I just pulled this up on my phone, and we're gonna go in an order. At least that's how I'm reading it. So I'm assuming that tau is like the best of the best. So that's later in the alphabet. So earlier alphabetical, Greek alphabetical words will be, I think, a little bit less powerful, and going towards Tau is going to be more powerful. Now, I haven't seen anything that goes beyond Tau as far as what I'm looking at the Greek alphabet, but in order, I'll read it off to you right now. It is Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta. Now, not all of these are in the game that I've noticed, but I'm reading it off anyway because they could. You got Iota, Kappa, Lambda. There's just a letter M, just a letter N. The XI, I don't know how you would pronounce that. Xi, maybe. Omicron, Pi, Rho, Sigma, that's in the game. Tau, that's in the game. Cylon, Silent P, Pi or Phi, PHI, Chi, CHI, Psi, Silent P, PSI, and Omega. That's according to a couple of different charts that I've looked at. So that appears to be the actual order of the Greek alphabet. Now, the ones that I've noticed in game so far, you know, I don't know, but I can tell you the most popular ones are Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Theta I've seen in the game. Kappa, Lambda, those are pretty popular. Omicron I've never even heard of. Sigma is in the game. Tau is in the game. So, and Omega is pretty popular as well. So these are possibilities. In any case, I haven't seen anything, like I said, beyond Tau. So Tau may be the most powerful in ranking as far as how I'm ranking them now. Via the Greek alphabet. So that out of the way, it's not necessarily a huge thing, but I mean, when you're looking at beam intensifiers, and you've got Theta, which isn't that much. I mean, it's like one spot above Tau. So, I mean, Tau would be one step more badass than Theta, according to the alphabet arrangement. But I'm saying that this +3 will be less than this +3. Now, in correlation, you got a +3 Theta to a +2 Tau. I mean, I don't know what that is. I mean, maybe they're similar. Maybe this one is still a little bit less. Like maybe one Tau is the equivalent of 2 Theta. I really don't know that. But that's how I'm rolling with it. I mean, why else would they differentiate it with that alphabet? Again, I don't really do a lot of research. I like to learn this stuff as I go. So that's my problem solving. That's my breakdown, and that's how we're rolling with it. In any case, my beam intensifier is badass. We've got a lot going on with it. We got even more over here with the Sigma. And this is a little bit less than all this stuff over here. So I mean, what I could do if I had the right upgrade tech in my inventory, which I'm not really sure how I can show you that right now without an empty slot. But I could dismantle this +1 Sigma, which is shit in comparison to these two. And if I had another +3 Theta, I mean, that's just going to make me even more badass with this this laser. The beam coolant, that seems pretty nice. If I can get something more than that, you know. I'm also holding on some of my tech as well. I know I have a +2 of beam coolant, but I also anticipate eventually going into, you know, another awesome or badass weapon. And the moment that you craft this and dismantle it, or the moment you craft it and eventually switch to another weapon, it's gone. As far as I know, there's no going back. You're making decisions and you lose this stuff. This stuff's gone. So as you acquire the tech and then craft it, that recipe for some reason disappears, which I think is bullshit. But I mean, that's the way the game is set up. So, you know, you have to get like specs, and then like the map it out, and then craft it, and there it is. Apply it. So once that's gone, it's gone. Now, again, here, let me see. We can get into how and why I have some of the things in my inventory as I have them. But first, we're going to take a look at our exosuit. Now, the exosuit is upgradable. You don't actually get, as far as I know, you don't actually acquire a new exosuit. You may or may not, but throughout your travels, you're going to come upon areas like this. And this area is a good area to keep an eye out for. If you see this, don't pass it up. You stop down, especially if you have money. If you have credits, you need to stop down here, because inventory slots are the difference between ease of gameplay, if you're going to play it the way I've been playing it, and or just having a hard time. You'll enter this pod, this hologram will appear, and it will prompt you to upgrade your suit. Now, I've already utilized this one, and it popped up over here. So, just because you see this little white border around, just because you see that little white border, and you might think that, all right, you see these little slots here, oh, you're going to fill that up and that's going to be done. Now, I can't remember, since it's been a while since I first played the game, but I think all I started out with originally was a 3x3 section. I may be wrong about that, I can't recall, but I didn't have a lot of inventory spots, so, and it was encased in this border as well. So when you find these pods and upgrade, these will fill up with these little gear slots. And if you find another one, once this is all full, this will likely expand either down this way or down or over this way. I'm not sure. I haven't reached a max yet, so I'm just going off of what has been happening, and I've been upgrading a lot. I found quite a few of these things. Pretty sure I start with a 3x3, and all of this has been upgraded. Now that's a huge amount of inventory slots. Now granted, if you're mining, you only get 250 unit capacity per slot, but even if you're not in vicinity of your ship, you can send that this way, and everything over here is going to fill up at a 500 unit per slot. So you can utilize, you can maximize efficiency by knowing this stuff. Another example is if I've been maxed out, I have like one slot, whatever it is. You're better off carrying single item bullshit. This is single item. This is single item. This stuff you're going to acquire. It's up to you if you're going to hold on to it or not. It's fast cash. It depends on how dedicated you are to your mining, but that stuff is better utilized or better held in your exosuit inventory versus if you're mining, you just shoot this shit over to the ship. Just shoot it over. 250, free up 2 slots in your main stash just to get it up in here. You're just going to be able to hold more. It's just smarter mining, smarter gameplay for, again, how I've been playing the game. So, in a mining operation, here's an upgrade here as well. Stamina enhancement, that's pretty nice to have. Looks like my life support needs a little... Actually, I'm going to use this up because I don't like those. I'm going to use a little carbon. So, my operation, how I operate, I like keeping carbon on hand. If I run low, I'm going to find more carbon because this is the stuff that it's cheap, it's inexpensive, and it's the stuff that I can power up my life support. I can power up my beam weapon. I can also power up my, I don't think this needs to get charged, but my plasma launcher also can get powered up with carbon. Carbon is everywhere. You shoot a couple of trees down and you are jacked to the max. So that's the stuff that you want. If you don't have carbon, you can use plutonium, you can use thamium-9, but carbon's the shit that I like to use. And if you acquire like those little cells, those little power cells, if I'm filled to the max and I need that space, I'm gonna drop that shit. It's garbage to me. I haven't really seen it. I really haven't utilized it in any awesome way that I know of. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. To me, it's garbage as of right now. This isn't. This is a $20,000, something. These green things, the greenbacks. Usually it's for trade, but I have, like I said, done some upgrading with my weapons for the ship, utilizing items with a dark green back. So it's important to know the kind of stuff that you have. This kind of stuff usually you can just trade with, you know, the aliens, and I've encountered a couple different aliens, and maybe the tech, like neutrino modules. These guys right here will drop like neutrino modules or other type tech. I don't know if you can utilize that for upgrades. You probably can, but this usually it's just something that right now, currently, I am just selling. You know, it's not that expensive, but you know, why not? It's fast, you know, 10,000 credits or 20,000 credits. It's fast cash, and I don't really have that big of a run between where I go and trade and where I'm at currently. And currently, I went back to my original system first, and I'm on my starting planet. And the reason I came back to my starting planet is because of this mineral. This mineral is rare, as far as I know, and I started out on a planet just loaded with the shit. So I haven't been finding a lot of it outside of this planet, at least not in the clusters like this. I mean, I swear, I mean, you have to look around a little bit, but it just lays on the planet in these clusters. These big boulders of beautiful, lustrous metal, I'm assuming. Pretty sure there's another ball around here that I can mine. Not really sure. I had saved the game and escaped, and I feel like in any case, it doesn't matter too much, because I'm going to be able to find more. The stuff is everywhere. Oh, yeah, over there. There's one over there. So I did mine this last night, but the save situation kind of screwed me over. It's not that big of a deal now because my weapon is so badass. You know, I'm cutting through the stuff pretty good, and I'll show you what's up with that. I'll show you how I do it. It can be a little boring, I think, you know, unless, you know, it's kind of Minecrafty in a way. I mean, you are mining and you are crafting, but you know, it's not completely Minecrafty in that you're not doing any type of farms or anything like that. So that, as far as I know. But it is therapeutic, and there are some techniques that I can show you as I do it. Today, what I will be doing is I'll be trying to acquire. This is my units. This is how much money I've made. I have 5,550,549 units or credits. It's hard because you got like units describing your currency, and you have units describing your amount of mineral that you acquire. So I find that confusing. I'm going to call these mineral bits units, and I'm going to be calling this stuff credits, even though it does say units, just so that doesn't get too confusing for you guys. I definitely don't want to get confusing for me. I don't want to be calling everything units. It just doesn't correlate. But again, now I'm saying I'm holding carbon on my body for those pardon my stammers, sustainability, for my life support, my weapon, and many other things that I utilize. I'm trying to keep a Chrysonite slot open, a Platinum slot open, and a Heridium slot open. Now, Heridium's everywhere. It's a very common thing to acquire, but you know, every once in a while you accidentally shoot something like that. I don't hold bulk in ship. In bulk in ship, I hold 500 units of Chrysonite, 500 units of Platinum, 500 nickel, 500 aluminum, 500 gold. Now these items, they come in handy for crafting, and these are fairly rare resources here, and they're rare as far as like I don't see a lot of them in my system and where I'm at. So I'm going to hold on to gold, aluminum, and nickel because I just can't mine it very prevalent. Now I don't have copper on hand, but copper is very prevalent. So if I run across copper, I mean if I run across something that I need to upgrade that utilizes copper, I can easily come and acquire it, either on this planet or in space. Nickel is, it's not easily acquired. It's a little more rare than copper as far as in the asteroids, but if you need nickel, I'm going to try in this system. I'm going to acquire it via my ship in mining an asteroid versus trying to find it on a planet. It's been difficult finding nickel anywhere in this system anyway. Now I keep 1,000 units of oxide titanium because if you get in a fight, you need oxide to restore your shields. And as far as titanium goes, it restores my shields. I don't know for sure, but I feel like titanium restores my shields better than iron. Like, it utilizes less of this resource than it would have to use of iron. So I maintain 2 slots of titanium for the off chance that I get in a serious fight and I need to continually restore my shields. So I will keep titanium on hand, 2 of those. Again, these are for crafting. I probably actually don't need to hold on to this iridium, just because it's so prevalent and the way that I've been explaining copper, and I just don't feel like I actually need it. Sometimes these things pop up when you're mining. Your laser beam is going to go all over the place. For example, I can show you this. Pretty sure I saw. Yeah, right here. So I'll be mining this thing, but this little bit right here is iron, and I may not see this as I'm mining it. So iron's it's going to go into your slot. So you need to listen to your computer, and when she says inventory slots full, you need to stop mining, because that stuff is just going into the air. And basically, you're just wasting that mineral. So you have to come in, you got to look at what you have, what you can discard if you want to continue mining, or if it's time to head back to trade and take care of that and make some credits. So plutonium is something that I'm always on the eye for, because there are things on your ship right here. I'm going to keep them plutonium, and I'm going to keep a Thamium-9 on hand on my ship no matter what, because I can't look at this stuff now, but launch thrusters, I believe, only takes plutonium, and your pulse engine only takes Thamium-9. So you have to have at least 2 of these. So I'm always on the lookout for Thamium-9 as well on planet. It's not very prevalent on planet, but you will run across it here and there in flower form. But usually on my way back to trade, I'll shoot a couple of asteroids and fill this puppy up. If I have if I'm heading back to trade, everything's pretty much full, so it's just going to fill this slot up, and then it's going to say inventory full, which is fine, because I don't really seem to go through that much more of that. But I'll keep this is a decent amount of plutonium, so I don't actually have to go out of my way to try and find it. But there are situations where you're mining, you're in your groove, you're on the grind, and you're running low on plutonium, so at that point you got to start hunting for the shit. But right now I'm feeling pretty good. I have quite a few inventory slots in my ship, and I'm feeling comfortable about that. But yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else currently in this mining situation. I got here a little bit of zinc. I have a slot for zinc, a slot for titanium, so I'm going to keep 2 of these on hand as well for just the off chance that I run into other situations. This is also pretty good for crafting, I believe. So I don't feel bad finding titanium. For me, also is kind of rare finding it in crystal form on the planet. So when I see it, I shoot it and I hold on to it, because it will come in handy. I can always sell this stuff too if it's a major issue. But like I said, right now I have so many inventory slots that the amount of mining I do with, because this thing it's fun to a point, small doses. You grind it out. Anybody who plays games knows the grind. In one form or one way or another, the grind. So this is a grind. Again, it can be therapeutic, it can be fun, but eventually you need to offset it with other tasks, and I can show you what I do now with that. Not now, but soon. Can you get used to the organization? I'm going to drop this iron. I don't need it. Again, if I need crafting that requires iron, it's easily acquired. it's everywhere, you know? You'll find iron everywhere in so many different forms. It's nuts. This gun is pretty good. I think it takes like three power blasts, and the thing explodes for me. You know, that's a lot of iron. I'm not too worried about the Sentinels anymore. You know, at first, you know, you're playing the game. First of all, I feel like when you first start out, you feel like I felt like I was being tested. You know, like all these choices are being monitored, and you know they get put into some, you know, fucking whatever algorithm facility somewhere, and like, oh, this guy's this and this guy's that. You know, now I see it's just a game. It's just a game with normal fucking mechanics and whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So, but I mean, in order to play, you have to acquire a certain thing. The way I'm playing now, you're gonna fuck up a couple of trees. You know, they don't seem to mind me mining this stuff, but there are things that I acquire on planet that they don't like me taking. And at this point, I don't really care anymore. You know, I was trying to be respectful, but the Sentinels are a menace. Really, they're tree-hugging motherfuckers. You know, I understand, you know, life, all that, the betterment, whatever. I need to acquire, I mean, the point of the game is to acquire resources, craft shit, and, I mean, the point of the game is individualized and interpreted differently by everyone, but as far as I'm interpreting it, you need to acquire resources to craft and to better your equipment, better your gear, and you know, inevitably get to where you want to go. Now, because my mission now is to acquire money, mining is my main operation, and by doing that, I'm bettering my ship inventory, I'm acquiring weapons along the way with my offsetting mission tasks, and I'm upgrading my suits. So I'm making progress in the game the way I've decided to make progress. There are other people that could come in this game and just fly from system to system to system. Well, kind of. So eventually you're going to have to stop and acquire resources to craft antimatter, to craft a power cell for your hyperdrive, so that you can get to the next systems. Sooner or later, you know, I feel like everyone's going to adapt to an economy type trading situation. So you need that money. You need those inventory slots, and you know, that's the fastest and easiest way to progress. Now, granted, I'm on the grind, but once I'm done with the grind, it's a smooth sail for me, whereas other people may be struggling throughout the entirety of the game. That's how I approach it. That's how I look at it. I may be wrong. You may be wrong. Who the fuck cares, right? Let's get on with it. So my laser just cuts through this stuff. Melts it like butter. When I start burning red on my pop bar up there in the top right, I ease off and pull the trigger again. You have to wait a little bit, so it's timed. You can't just ease off and pull back on again real fast, because it'll end up overheating your weapon. I don't exactly like mining with my weapon overheating. I feel like it takes longer to wait for the cooldown, even with my cooldown +1, than it would be to ease off the trigger and then wait your second or whatever it is to start shooting again. It just seems faster to me, so that's how I do it. I like to be on top of the mineral. I've mined many different ways, and sometimes I'll switch it up just because, you know, I'm so used to doing it a specific way, and you want to switch it up. But this seems pretty efficient. I get on top, I go towards the center, and take it down a little bit, and then I just kind of circle around and just cut. Now there's going to be some precision mining once you get the bulk of this shit out of here. And overheating does happen. You can get caught up in other things that you're doing. So like at this point now, I'm not necessarily precision, but I use this visor now. What the visor does, it slows my movements down just enough for me to get a more precise attack on those smaller bits of mineral that linger beyond. And I want to go for those because, you know, let's see if I can show you eventually what that stuff will look like. What usually happens when you take all this bulk, you're going to leave behind these little bits of mineral in the sky. I'm actually being a little more proficient than I would like right now, so I can show you that. That's a little big. It is what it is. We got another one coming up. But anyway, there are points. Alright, see, like this. You're gonna find little bits like this as you mine it down. Now, you might think to leave that, but if you keep mining down towards the ground here, the closer you get to the ground, all the stuff that you're doing, you're not gonna see me acquire too much of the mineral. You're gonna have clumps like this. I'm acquiring mineral, no problem. The closer you get to the ground, the odds of you not acquiring anything at all. Actually, that's not the case anymore. Maybe that was a glitch. Now, there have been a lot of people talking and bitching about the game and glitches and stuff, and I've encountered a couple of glitches. This is actually being a little more. See, that stuff won't do anything. Some of the stuff you blow up, it's not giving, you know, but this is pretty close to the ground. Now, I was dealing with some mineral, like maybe at least one layer above ground that was not giving me anything. That's not the case seemingly anymore. We did just acquire an update, so that may be something they fixed. If that is the situation, you know, awesome.
Weapon charge depleted.
Oops. That would be great.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
But again, maybe I'm just lucking out here. So, in any case, these little bits up here, they're worth scoping out because you can get 1 to 2 units per little chunk like that. You know, I just acquired 2 units per each of those tiny little buggers. So when you turn on your visor, it's easier to precision shoot. I mean, you got to finesse the trigger, but it's worth it, in my opinion. You can avoid it if you want. That's iron. Need that shit. You can zoom in if you need to. But this is part of my grind. You don't necessarily have to dick around with that shit. It's just something I do because I feel it's worth it. You may not, and so don't do it. You know what I mean? But that was a pretty big chunk of mineral, and we took it down pretty fast. So I mean that makes the guy feel pretty good. Now if we can get our bearings. Crevice in the earth. Let me get some titanium over here. Just ain't passing that up. So you just find like one spire of crystals. Like sometimes you'll find clusters, but not like you would with plutonium. Plutonium you find in crystal clusters more often than you would with titanium. And you learn this stuff as you go. You know, you learn what elements you need to keep an eye out for. You know what I mean? That's plutonium over there. A couple crystal, you know, probably some over there. There's our direction. It's a little bit of a haul away from the ship, but it's up to you to determine if you want to use the ship or not. I mean, every time you launch off the ground, you're spending resources. So if I can make a small little trek over there, melt some emerald and get back to the ship, I mean, that's fine. You know, you gotta watch out for asshole plants. This guy's a dick. I just shoot him so I don't have to worry about getting hit by him again. There's not a lot of hostile animal life on this planet. I'm pretty sure that's an animal. It looks like a hostile plant, but it's not the case. Heridium. I mean, it's all over the place. It's a beautiful, brilliant blue. And it spires up like that all over. On a lot of planets, not just this one. And the only reason we're on this planet is for the emerald. And again, like I said, I don't know, maybe I just got lucky with this planet or what, but I mean, I remembered that mineral in the first, there it is right there. In the first, it's hard to see it with the night sky, it's kind of yellowish with those clouds. But I remember the first, it was like the first couple of feet away, and I found one of these, possibly two, in my first starting area. So, exploring the planet a little bit, I ran into quite a few more of these things, and I knew that this planet was valuable as fuck. Now, again, when you're backed up, I mean, that's the mineral source that we just took down. So it appears, it pops back up for whatever reason. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's just to show you, you know, correlation to where you were or what. I was kind of glitching it out. It wasn't an episode or anything like that. I was just playing around. I felt like, you know, the amount of time spent on two major emerald mining areas like this, but on a much larger scale. Maybe the amount of time allowed for me to run towards, like what I see right here, this image, shooting at it with my gun, and then it kind of glitched it back into an actual mining source. It was a deformed mining source, but I could acquire more mineral that way. I'm not sure if it's still a thing. I can check on it, but again, it was there were much larger mineral sources than this. Probably twice this, maybe 3 times this size. You can find large, I mean large, mineral sources. So, but what I'm gonna do, it wasn't exactly centered, but that's alright. My laser shoots out pretty good, so I'm just gonna get right back into mining. This is probably gonna be my operation today. My goal is to reach 10 million credits, because the moment I bought that nice fancy ship of mine, the moment I started seeing other ships that were much better. We're talking 33, 34, 35 slots with fantastic upgrades already implemented into the ship for around $10.5 to $11 million. And again, that's if you're lucky. I mean, it sounds like I'm going to be waiting in the docking bay for a while. I've been trying to find ships that I've seen, like really good ships, and they just come into the docking bay at the space station. And you just talk to the ship owners, and they're like, "Yeah, man, we're going to sell our ship to you," and you know, make an offer, and then you can kind of check out the specs and check out the price. But I've seen some really good shit out there. I'm going to acquire the amount of money I want for the best ship that I've seen, and then I'm just going to sit in the docking bay and wait for the dude to show up, however long that may be. But I want the better ship. That's what I'm working towards now. That is my goal. And then I'll want to upgrade the ship, so that's why we offset our mining with a little bit of exploration of the planet to find areas where we can acquire upgrades. So I want to start a collection. I mean, I've already started a collection of upgrades, and I'm trying to be picky and choosy with the ones. I don't want to be putting my best on everything. I want to hold on to some of my best for, you know, later on with a newer upgrade. So, or I mean a newer ship or a newer weapon or whatever. That stuff really does change how you utilize your weapons, how you utilize your ship, and how you play the game. But yeah, we'll continue that that collection of upgrades for weapon and ship, and we're
we're gonna apply them. I don't know if it's gonna happen today. I have a couple of hours of gameplay, so we're gonna play around. We're gonna do this thing. We'll try and keep it interesting, but for the most part, we are mining. Want that money? I need those credits. I want that ship. But I'll show you what I mean by the facilities. We've already seen them in some of my broadcasts, I'm sure. I haven't, I can't remember. That's the thing. But we're just going to do our thing. But yeah, I guess there's quite a few people that are bitching about the game, you know, I don't know, the glitches, the game falling apart. I have no idea. The way that I've been playing the game, I haven't really had any major problems. I think one of the biggest annoyances was that I think that they fixed in this recent update was getting into your ship when you're on planet and thrusting off the ground. Sometimes it shot you all the way up into orbit, just randomly, and that was a little frustrating, especially if at that point you encounter hostile ships. You're just not prepared on any level. You know, really, when you push your thruster, you should just lift off the ground a little bit. The majority of the time, that's what happens, so I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to do, and not shoot you into orbit. So it was a little weird. I didn't know if that was the way the game was supposed to be or not, but again, it's, you know, glitches happen. That's you know, if that wasn't supposed to be the way that it was, I mean, you just deal with it. It's not so big of a deal that you hate on the game. It was a minor inconvenience, if that, you know. But, you know, there are people that are the elitist among us, the ones that expect, you know, 100% perfection. I don't mind. You know, I come from an older generation where, you know, games were sold on cartridges, and the game was finished upon release, you know. But again, those games were nearly as big as what we got going on here, you know. So, I mean, for what this game is, and what it has been providing for me,
Weapon charge depleted.
which is entertainment, and a source of
Technology recharge.
awesomeness for my imagination, you know, it's worth it. We're running low on carbon, so I want to stock up, shoot a couple of trees down, and you're going to fill out, I mean, one tree, 80 units. Pretty much. I mean, you can find bigger trees that provide you with more. But you don't need to spend a lot of time before your inventory has a decent couple of slots with carbon already, you know. I already got one full one, starting on another one. Let's just keep on, let's shoot a couple more trees down. That tree, shooting a mountain. That's not good. See that? That's copper. Anytime I need copper, it's everywhere. Floating in giant frickin' boulders in the sky. It's the weirdest thing. I don't really see how gravity works that way on this planet, 'cause I'm fine. It's gotta be magnetic. Is copper magnetic? I don't even know. Is it weird that I don't know that? Person can only acquire so much information in their life and retain, you know, maybe a quarter of it. So I feel thankful for the amount of information that I have retained, considering all the bullshit I've pumped into my body in my youth. I'm sending all that emerald back to the ship. You know, got 3 slots here. That's pretty good. I would normally have 4, but I threw that beam impact towel on this ship just to make myself a little more, even more badass in a fight. Not that I really needed it, but it should take less time to fuck up hostiles, and that's always a good thing, because those motherfuckers are annoying, and they can drop some pretty cool shit. So you can also pick fights with the guys around the space station. That's probably not the smartest thing to do, but you can acquire gear that way. I did accidentally shoot one, and he got pissed off and sent you know, somebody came to his aid, and I shot him, and then I guess there was some Sentinel ship up there. I haven't really fucked with those ships out in space, all their gear and stuff. I might, just to see what I can acquire. I don't want to overlook, you know, potential sources of awesomeness.
You know, but I don't exactly want to be like a frickin' raider bandit dude either, you know. I still want to keep my morality and ethics intact. I don't want to compromise that shit right here. But only if I can easily acquire it elsewhere. If I can easily acquire it elsewhere, you know, I think I might dabble in the arts of thievery or raiding. Getting that precision shit cut. I spot that stuff just by moving around. You can see stuff that's a little more stationary in closer proximity to you. It's all about the depth perception, guys. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with that. What we got down here? Not much. Did a pretty good job mining that thing. That went pretty fast. You know, this gun just cuts deep. But I think we're done here. We're going to go back to the ship. I'm just going to look for our little ship signal, which I can't always seem to find for whatever damn reason. All these red houses on the radar are points of interest. I haven't really gone to a lot of them. Let me see if I can hone in on one. It's like abandoned building. Are you serious?
Suit power cells depleted. Technology recharge.
There we go. So you got trading post over here. You have abandoned buildings. So it's a point of interest in the same way that these blue question marks are, which these are save points. I think they're save points, or you know, points of interest as far as like recorded history, discovering, like discoveries basically. Recorded history of discoveries on the planet, or saves. These little. Let's check out some of these red things. Let's check one out. But I'm assuming it's just another point of interest for acquiring gear, acquiring upgrades, acquiring all kinds of shit. Like I said, I need to find my ship. It doesn't always show up on my radar, which is kind of annoying. There it is. It's over there. It's like you almost have to. I don't know why it goes big and why it goes small. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. I don't get that. But it should be very large, because that's your ship. Just don't get it. It's just hard to find. But yeah, anyway, I've been having a great time with this game. Like I said, I've been playing this for about a week now. You know, I made my ship that I have now was about $1 million. And it takes some time to acquire that amount of money. You know, you can fill up your inventory only so much. You know, imagine doing that with the tiny little ship that I started out with. You know, there's a lot of back and forth. So when you acquire a new ship, there's a lot less back and forth. And that's what you're, especially if you're going to be a miner. That really helps out. So that's why we're trying to acquire another ship, even bigger and more badass than this one. Hopefully we can get an additional 10 slots. And it's only going to help us in the future as far as acquiring more and more without having to with traveling less. That's the idea. So I mean, here's a discovery. So not all discoveries do you have to actually push something. You know, like this thing over here, like a save, but it also is like you discovered, you know, such and such a area. But this right here now, I'm going to lift off the ground, And the glitch was, I feel it was a glitch, it would, like right there, it would shoot me all the way up into fucking orbit. And then you lose your place wherever you are on your planet. So, I mean, not that that's a big deal. If you're in your ship and you're ready to boost off the ground, you best hope that you've explored everything in the immediate area of your ship, and that's usually the case for me. So it was never a problem. I never had to get right back to the same spot that I was at. 2 hours away. That's nothing. That's nothing we're gonna go for. That's where we're gonna go. Let's pick up the speed a little bit. Now you have to be close to the ground in order for the emerald to materialize or render. So the rendering is a little bit problematic, but I mean, if you're going at a decent, like not too fast, and you're close enough to the ground, you should see the emerald materialize when that happens. Now, I'm not sure what this is, so on our way to that red blip, we're just going to stop here and we're going to explore. Because in these facilities, this is the stuff that you can't always see these question marks, but the planet is so large that the odds are I'm going to be in an area that I haven't explored yet. But any area like this, these little settlements, you're going to see this kind of tech around. You're going to find upgrades. Sometimes they're connected, sometimes they're not. As far as like the main progress of the game, the way that the game would like me to go, which is you meet the Atlas, is it? Some entity, some force who's guiding me in this empty space, right? I have no purpose without the Atlas, apparently. And you pretty much do what the Atlas wants you to do. We're just taking a moment early on to acquire the gear and the things that I feel comfortable in to eventually go back into the Atlas's wishes. We got an alien here. Sometimes these guys are a-holes, but for the most part, the Vy'keen race, I have good standing with these dudes. Sometimes I get worried when interactions mean something about holding a gun, but I think at this point now, if they offer me a gun, it's not like I'm going to be stuck with that gun. I can make the choice and compare it, I believe, and that's the thing. That's why sometimes I avoid these interactions, but you do what you do. Clicks its heels together in an authoritarian fashion before plunging a syringe dripping with corrosive green liquid into my arm. Dude, holographic images of 2 alien races appear in my visor, a small reptilian figure and a taller life form in a metal casing. The warrior snarls at me and its fingers hover over the injector, which can surely cause damage to life, limb, or equipment. It begins its interrogation. Alright, so with the amount of language that I've acquired in this game, interloper, Vy'keen, enemy, sacrifice enemy, Vy'keen. Right, so what's the deal with this dude? Guy's interrogating me. 2 alien races. Small reptilian figure and a taller life form in a metal casing. Warrior snarls at me. His fingers hover over the injector, which can surely cause damage to life and limb. So he's threatening me, basically, right? Begins its interrogation. Well, I don't exactly know of these 2 alien races appear in my visor. The small reptilian figure, maybe that was the Gek, and a taller life form in a metal casing. That I don't know about. Now I've met the Gek. They seem kind of lizard-like and small, so maybe that's what they're referring to there. wants information. Surrender information. Claim ignorance. Taller figure in metal casing. So that could be the Vy'keen, right? Maybe the Vy'keen and the Gek are at they're at odds. Pull rank. It's not like he's got like some kind of truth serum in me. And I'm not a stoolie. Pull rank. Vy'keen accomplice or above. Let's do this shit. Yeah. What's up now, buddy? So yeah, it was like, I think it's because of my standing with this race that I have some pull, maybe? I have no idea. But this dude was like, oh my god, I can't believe I just fucked with you. I can't believe it either, man. You don't just inject people willy-nilly. What the fuck's wrong with you, man? This ain't a fucking heroin den. Even if it was a heroin den, you don't just fucking inject that shit all over. People die on that crap. Images of shattered sentinels are displayed like trophies on this terminal screen. Seems the observatory's former overseer had a penchant for hunting these machines. We get a little bit of a description here, but I already know what they want me to do. They want me to figure out this puzzle. So we want to find the sequence. 4634. 4634. So I'm thinking the next number is going to be 4463. The observatory hums into life as the location of a new world. Yeah, so I succeeded on that. So you're going to get puzzles like this all over the place. You know, whether you get them or you don't, it's not entirely a big deal. You know, it's going to find more stuff in space for you to go check out. And space is huge. There's shit all over the place. New technology discovered. This is what I'm talking about. These areas right here provide these terminals, and you can get a huge collection of upgrades. You know, the new technology discovered here. This is a +2 beam focus Tau. Now I'm not entirely sure what the beam. This just beam focus must mean you acquire more units of mineral per shot. That's what I'm assuming, because you have beam intensifier and you have beam focus, and they show you a little symbol of that diamond. That to me says, you know, more units per cut. So that's a really good upgrade, and if I can acquire, and it's Tau, so that makes me feel like that's one of the more powerful versions of that upgrade. And if I ever get like a huge slotted weapon, I mean, I'm gonna throw that fucker on there. I mean, I want more intensity, I want more focus, I want to be able to cut those boulders of emerald down fast and efficiently with large rewards. So ultimately that's the goal. We haven't acquired these Atlas passes yet. I'm sure, you know, it stands to reason. It's an Atlas pass, so the further I go with the main story, the better chances I believe I would have of acquiring an Atlas pass. So I have not seen that anywhere else, but you know, like I said, we backtracked to this system for this planet. I don't really care if I get into those. I did get in one facility that was ransacked, and the doors were open where the Atlas pass would normally be, and it's just more. It's more of the same. It's terminals, you know. It's upgrades. It's gear, shit like that. So, you know, basically all it is you know, double up what you can acquire in this room. You know, instead of just getting one upgrade, I'd have access to maybe 2 or 3. That's basically what the Atlas Pass is going to provide for me. Different, more diverse gear, better gear, more concentrated gear. We know there's going to be something in this one too, probably. Not sure what, but I mean, you got to go into every facility. You're going to have something. There's an upgrade in this thing as well. Damaged machinery, usually find an upgrade. You got a +3 cannon damage theta. This is for my ship. It's not too bad. Theta's a little bit less than Tau, as far as my understanding. But you need to acquire Omegon. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to acquire that. So, yeah. That's probably going to come with more further exploration of the universe and other systems. And we'll start doing that as soon as I get a better ship. But I want to be able to come back to this system whenever I want more emerald, unless I find another planet as rich in this resource, or a better, if I find a better resource. What we have here, this is rapid fire +2 Tau. This is going to be for my weapon. So that's pretty nice. I mean, anytime you get +2 or higher in a Tau, it feels like a nice upgrade. I don't know if it follows your progress as far as, you know, upgrades on your suit or whatever it does follow that you do in the game that makes you think you're worthy of higher and more prevalent, not prevalent, but more profoundly powerful upgrades. You know, I'm not sure if there's an algorithm in place that watches my progress and says, hey, you know what, we should start giving him more +2s or more Taus or more +3s or some shit like that. But I feel like as I've been playing the game throughout the week, I have been acquiring better upgrades. What's this? I already discovered that. I don't know what that is. Need a bypass chip. What in the Yokiosit S65? I mean, that's my ship is a Yokiosit, I think. I'm not really sure what that is. I don't know. Let's craft a bypass chip. What do I need? Plutonium and iron? 10 of each? Yeah, we can do that easy peasy. Holy fucking hell. So it just called my ship, basically? What? Yeah, because my ship was over there. That's weird. It's awesome. Can I carry one of these? That would be great for, like, traveling all over the place. Well, this particular tech, once you bypass it, you can utilize it anytime. So say you left your ship way the fuck back somewhere, you found your way to this place over here. You just bypass this thing and call your ship, so you don't have to walk all the way back to wherever the bumblefuck Egypt you put it. Just want to make sure I'm done in this area. I feel like there's maybe one more facility. This is all tied together. Huh. I'm not sure. I hate just running around these big facilities. It feels like I need a jog times 5. Because even my jog feels like I'm just walking. Like this is just a brisk walk. I'm not running by any means. I've been in there. Came out of there. Whatever the case is, I feel like I'm not going to get into any of this without the Atlas Pass. The only door I know of is over there somewhere. That's what's up. We've explored everything in this area. We have saved our game. And it's taken care of the question mark. We acquired some pretty good gear here. It was worth the stop. So that's basically what we do to offset our mining. Just, because we're still on the mission, right? We're still on the mission, the mining mission. We're looking for emerald. But as we're looking for emerald, we can determine our direction based on proximity to whatever these things are. That's an hour away. What do we have here? We have a monolith. Or a ruin. It's a ruin. Let's head to the ruin. It's not that far away. Sure if I've discovered this yet or not. I don't think so. And you just kind of have to time it right, you know, because a good landing in close proximity to the thing that you're trying to check out usually is initiated after this is underneath your visual. These areas usually have 3 knowledge stones. So you gotta be on the lookout for 3 of those. I have not encountered any other number. So this might be a first. Maybe they're up top there. 2. Learn the word beast. Beast. Huh. Should be one more. Somewhere. It might be in that room. What's this? Unmineable. Well, it is a ruin. I'm like monoliths. You find 3. Maybe in ruins you only find 2. I don't know if this is the first. This feels like the first time I've actually seen a ruin, to be honest with you. But I feel like there should be 3 knowledge stones. Alright, well, 2 it is. Proving me wrong. Ancient knowledge passed down through generations of Vy'keen warriors. Spills from the marker stone, filtering into my mind like a long forgotten memory. Yeah, so these actually are a little bit different, so we're probably lucky to have even found 2 of those. Monoliths are a little bit different. They kind of like make me deal with a situation. You know, I acquired some knowledge through this actual thing here. So, monoliths, you're gonna find probably, at least in my experiences, 3 knowledge stones. Maybe we'll find one sooner or later. And a scenario where you have to make a decision. If you handle the situation correctly, you can acquire gear, knowledge, other wondrous things. Yokiosin. Look at that beautiful ship. How beautiful. But yeah, I haven't been kicked into the orbit since the update, so that must have been one of the things on their list to fix. I'm thankful for it, because that was a real pain in the dick, guys. That was a dick buster. In case we are trying to make our way to one of these red areas, so we're gonna go to the shelter over here. We're not going to go super fast because we're trying to find Emerald along the way, and we just did. We just did, guys, just like that. You take advantage of that shit, at least I do. We are making our way to that shelter, but first, this fucking ship, I swear to God. The cockpit, the way it is, if you land, especially on a hill going downward like this, you're gonna fuck up your shields every time. You have to remember to hit your booster, or you're going to take a little bit of damage. If you land level, it's not a problem. You fall out of there, it's not a big deal at all. But that doesn't always happen. These planets are filled with hills. So first I'm going to get my bearings. See, I see an emerald source over there. So we know we're going to head that way. You don't always find two sources of emerald, but it's always nice to survey the land and see if another source has rendered, and one certainly has. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end this broadcast here, guys, and we're going to pick up. Like I said, we got a couple of hours today. We're going to play and do some mining and experience the game that is No Man's Sky. See if I can hit that guy. Maybe not now. Nope. A little too long on the lead. Oh well. Yeah, you can kind of see what that grenade launcher does from land. You can't, as far as I know, you can't manipulate the land in any way the way you can with this weapon here.
Weapon charge depleted.
Jesus Christ, I'm losing all kinds of stuff here. But yeah, for the most part, that is my operation. That is what I do. That is what I'm doing. And hopefully on the fast track to $10 million and an awesome ship. And along the way, we're going to acquire those upgrades, and we're going to acquire more emerald. And that's it. So if you guys are into that and you want to check out some more, I'm going to do another broadcast of exactly what we've been doing. A little less explanation because we covered quite a bit in this one. We're going to fill up our inventory slots in the next one, and we're going to head back to the space station. We can talk a little bit about the space travel once we're into that. So I learned a little bit more on that, and maybe we can counter a battle. I can show you my fighting prowess out there in the cosmos. Make you guys proud. You know what I mean? In any case, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please click that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. I try and put content out like this every week. And yeah, it's been real fun. I hope you found this informative. And I'll be back shortly with another one. Probably just going to take a small little break. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Hope you guys have a great one. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.